Self-awareness or finding yourself is you discovering what your strengths and weaknesses. Me, Maria, as a character, what are my strengths and my weaknesses? They help you to take actions on your life. They help you to know which projects you can undertake and which ones you can delegate. They help you to know who you can associate with or know who your energy matches with. They help you to avoid negative energy when needed, because there are just people or characters that you cannot deal with, that you cannot handle with your personality. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Maria. Welcome to Maria Nation. Very much appreciated, and I don't take it for granted. You're welcome and welcome back again. Each and every time I post this, I feel a sense of fulfillment, and I'm doing these videos as a way of showing how I am also growing and moving on with my personal development, with my mental health. And yeah, for today I wanted us to talk about finding oneself, finding yourself in a way that is all round, in a way that is wholesome, such that you will find yourself developing in terms of the physical, your mental, your spirituality, and in just generally growing uh, to realize that you've grown in all aspects of your life. And personally, this journey I started in 2021. It is not an easy thing to do, because you are like rediscovering yourself and finding out things you didn't know about yourself, and learning. It's like you are learning, but in a way that you are unlearning what you already knew and learning the real you in a way that is not as chaotic. This is like the safest way of knowing yourself. And this is a disclaimer. This content is not from a professional. I'm just sharing content of the statistics I've collected or the things I've done ever since I started my personal development journey. It has not been easy. It has been a series of questions, from one question to another, and having no one else to ask but you yourself, and making sure that you find an answer that is appropriate for yourself. So yeah, I've been through this. This is like my third year ever since it clicked on me that I have to rediscover who I am, because I just discovered how much was deposited in my mind that was not even supposed to be there, and how much it made me hate on people, how much it made me resent my situations, my circumstances. So I'm here just to tell you how, or the tips that I've used all through, that have made me to at least think I have improved in one way or another. When I started this journey, not that I've already fixed my life, but my life was a bit in shambles. I would cry most of my nights, and for not knowing what was wrong with me, I would just find myself not in my good moods, and I would really have, I really had very bad characteristics or habits that I really wanted to break. One of them including prolonged sleep. I didn't want to get out of bed. Something you could call depressed. I don't like using that word though, but I think I was depressed because, yeah, I didn't want to get out of bed. I was always tired, and I wanted to know what was really wrong with me, because I knew there must be something that was not me. Ever since I was a kid, that was not me. I was not an early riser, yes, but I didn't like sleeping past 7 in the morning. Yeah, I had to take some actions, and it was to be wholesome, because sleep and everything was affecting my physical, my mental, and my spiritual. The times I was supposed to wake up and pray, I was very lazy to wake up and pray. I was very tired, and I didn't even want to hear about it. So I started by taking care of myself, care of my physical health, and that included having cold showers. If you're someone who is not threatened by having cold showers, it's okay. You can use cold showers to refresh your mind, because cold water increases your heart rate, and it helps pump blood quicker, in a way that is not quicker in a way that is harmful, but in a way that is healthier as compared to having heart rate slowed by the things you're doing. It also helps you to think quicker, such that it triggers your emotions, and it helps your brain to be sharp. So I found out when I started this, that taking several minutes in the bathroom, showering cold water, helped me. It helped me sharpen my mind. It helped me think more, of which I didn't want to, and it helped me think more positively than I would negatively. It felt like I was washing away my then problems. I felt like I was washing away my sorrows, and yeah, the showers helped me a big deal. So yeah, another thing I discovered about physical, or taking care of my physical health, is just the general self-care issue. And self-care, when I talk about self-care, is like a broad topic, and it may entail your health, it may entail your nutrition, it may entail your reading, it will entail your meditation, it will entail your praying, it will entail your just taking care of your general body, going to the salon, going to the barber's shop, going to buying yourself a cute cloth that will help you boost your confidence. If you are a person like me, you are someone who is not just confident when you're clean, but you are also I'm also confident when I put on a piece of cloth that I feel is a bit yeah, like a cute cloth will boost my confidence more than a sleeping gown or a piece of cloth, an old piece of cloth. So my confidence is mostly, for example, for a lady, your confidence may be boosted by making your hair, by putting on a cute piece of cloth, by doing makeup, by making your nails, by just doing things that will make you feel refreshed. So if you are looking at improving your, or if you are looking at rediscovering yourself, if you're looking at finding yourself more, you have to do things that will boost your self-confidence, that things that will make you believe in yourself, so that you will even believe in the cause of discovering yourself. One thing I know is that if you start anything without discovering yourself first, you will get lost. So if you don't believe that you can discover yourself, if you don't have confidence that you'll discover yourself, then I think it will not happen. The journey to discovering yourself will not happen. So in finding yourself out, you need first to develop confidence in you. So the physical part of it will also boost very much of the effort in finding yourself. Another thing I think I did that has helped me in finding myself is I decluttered a lot, from letting go of people who I thought were not as beneficial to me, and or vice versa. I thought that maybe if they are not adding value to me, why not just let them go? Or yeah, sometimes I could let go of certain calls and maybe call later if I wasn't feeling like calling then, because maybe I could be intoxicated then and maybe said something that I didn't want to say. Especially a personally, I feel like even if that person is someone so close to you, like your relative, you just have to cut them until you will find the mental toughness to handle them. Because yes, we don't have to make grudges, we have to forgive, yes, but if that person is making you uncomfortable in your own zone, I think the best way is just to cut them off, and maybe later you'll find a way of handling them after you have developed the acumen to maybe talk to them, or maybe deal with whatever crap they always bring up, because you know that there are people who never mature, and that is not for you to be blamed for. and you just have to let them go if they are not people who will change. And it is better if they are not people who are in your household, because those ones you can let them go as quick as possible. They don't have to remain in your life. But if it is someone in your household, you can choose to filter. And by filter, in terms of decluttering, filtering in terms of decluttering means don't let what they say get to you, because after all, these are people who are living with you. If they were maybe someone who you could get rid of, maybe you could maybe I could recommend maybe looking for another place to stay. But in a case that you cannot separate from them, why not just make what they say not mean anything to you, in a way that you have to mature quicker, you have to grow up quicker. And such people really help us develop mental toughness, because we tend to filter more, and we tend to also develop our listening skills better, because we, most of the time, they will tell you things, you don't answer, you keep on analyzing. But don't let it stick in your mind. If they are mean, don't let it stick in your mind. Decluttering is just a way to prioritize what is important. Just prioritize what is important. If you are having things in your house that are not being used, start from your physical state. How is your house planned? How is everything in your living room organized? How is everything in your bedroom, in your kitchen organized? Are there things in your house that you're not using? Are there things in your store that you may store forever but you will never need in your life? Donate them, sell them, or just do away with them, and you'll find like you are starting to even open up in your mind. And in terms of decluttering the mind, you may need to find a way that you will let go of the past. If it is something that is haunting you, if it is something that is tormenting you, traumas need to be let go so that you can embrace what is coming. And in life, you will have to realize that you cannot avoid the circumstances of the life. You just have to embrace, especially our emotions. We have to embrace our emotions and know that these are just things that are happening in our lives that will one day go away. And if we deal them in a good way, they will not affect us or our loved ones in a way that will leave us traumatized. Another way of decluttering is, I said decluttering, you declutter your physical place, your physical space where you stay. You declutter anyone in your life that is not adding value, or you may not be adding value to them, or you are adding value to them but they are not adding value to you. You declutter them. Let them go. Just let them go, because I know relationships are hard to end, but just let them go. And this is a time, decluttering time is a time that you become lonely during the self-discovery journey. And self-discovery is not a thing that you'll just start today and finish it the following day. It is a journey. It is like a lifetime. When you find out what you are best in, when you find out who you are, when you find out what you can do best, when you find out what you can delegate, when you find out who you can associate with in a comfortable way, when you find out who can make you a best version of yourself. There are people who we associate with and we force ourselves to, that they'll only drain our energy, and them themselves are negative energy to themselves. So just make sure that the people you associate with, after decluttering those ones that are not beneficial to you or you are not beneficial to them, make sure that there are people who will impact your life as you also impact them. And one thing I believe is, if you serve one another, you'll never get tired of each other, in a relationship, in friendship, in family. If you are just a person who is of service to another, there is no way you'll be in a decluttering list of another person. Make sure that you are a person who is adding value to another person through whatever you do and whatever you speak out, especially what we speak out. Make sure they build other people, because you may be calling yourself, you may be saying that you are decluttering and you are in the journey of self-discovery. And I know this is the messiest moments of our lives, because at that time we are still learning and relearning, and maybe we may commit several mistakes. And by committing these mistakes, we find ourselves not being able to man up to our emotions. And here is where mindfulness comes in. So when I talk about mindfulness, is asking yourself, who am I? Who is Maria? Asking yourself, what can I do best? Asking yourself, who can I associate with that I can benefit and can also benefit me? Who in my life is okay? Just the general life questions that are important for humanity. And for me, the cause I believe in is humanity, and I believe in serving humanity. For anything that I have thought myself of doing, for example, in my purpose, even when I do music in church, I think, oh, how will it impact the generation? How will it impact the youth that I'm serving with? How will it impact the youth that will listen outside there? How will my music benefit the parents and the children who will listen to it? So when I say mindfulness is, just be accountable to your person. And by your person, I mean be accountable to yourself. And if it is possible, let someone close to you in the picture that you are in this journey and you need their support. And if you're going astray, just be open to them so that they may know you may need their support. And for holding you accountable also, it is very important. If you don't have anyone who holds you accountable, you will find yourself going astray or being derailed. For me, someone who holds me accountable is my husband. I may be far in geographically, but anything that affects my future, because my future is also his, I tend to mostly talk to him about it, and he always keeps me on track. If I am going astray, he helps me to come back to my senses. He helps me, like coming back to our senses, but he reminds you of your course. He reminds me of my purpose. He reminds me of the course I told him I wanted to go to. Or maybe he could just pose a question and ask you, did you leave the course you were talking to me about, or did you let go of your purpose? So such question can help trigger a fire in you, so that you know that you are maybe derailed from your course and come back. It is very good to reboot and come back to your senses, come back to your original purpose. So by having someone, and people may be finding it difficult to maybe trust someone to hold them accountable. So maybe talking to someone, let's say a therapist, a parent, or someone just that you trust. Find someone. Self-discovery is not easy if you are not someone who is open. At least have someone, only one person you can confide in. Self-discovery is not just something you can do on your own. And that is where reading comes in. If you don't want to talk to someone physically, you can do reading. And I've done reading severally. I did reading before I even started thinking of talking to my husband, because I didn't even think self-discovery was a thing before I started Googling and going around the internet looking for it. So I read materials on self-discovery, and then I thought maybe I should share, because in one of them, there was a story of a lady that inspired me, and she was talking about how she confided in a friend concerning what she was going through, and it helped because they always kept her on toes for her not to lose course. When we start being mindful of our lives, we reach a point where our emotions start betraying us, and the emotions will tell us maybe we are not on the right course, or maybe we are doing a mistake in a certain way, or maybe we are being selfish by decluttering, or maybe we are being too self-conscious on wanting to make ourselves look smart. So when the emotions come, the emotions of the mind starting to betray us, you should know that it is just the mind playing tricks on you, and you are not supposed to give up on what you started. You have to just keep on moving on. But what I'm trying to say about embracing our emotions is by you accept what you're feeling and feel through the emotions. Do not avoid the emotions, because when we avoid the emotions, next time they also trigger, we will go back to the same position we were in when the same started. So here is what I'm trying to say is, feel through. Allow the emotions to consume you. Allow the emotions to bring you to a point of discovering how you can deal with that emotion. Allow the emotion to bring you to a point that you can think with your own mind, and allow your mind to function in itself. The mind is built in a way that it can either increase or reduce an emotion or neutralize it. So allow the mind to be the arsenal of your emotion. Tell it to yourself of the opposite emotion you expect it to bring to you. Tell it to bring you the emotion that you expect it to always hold for you. Do not let the mind control your thoughts. Do not let the mind put negativity in you. Because if you face them, feel through them, you do not avoid them. The questions will come, yes, but you will be strong. You will have trained your mind to handle the questions. You would have trained your mind to know who you can talk to when such things come, or what you can do when such things come, rather than fighting the emotion and not knowing how to handle the emotion. So embracing the emotion is just to feel through and let you know how you will handle it next time, how you will go about it when such questions come back betraying your consciousness. So when you embrace your emotions, you discover yourself more. You come to a point where you know yourself more. You know how your mind works. You know what triggers what emotions in you. You know who triggers which emotions in you. You know which situation triggers which reactions in your mind. So the emotions will help you discover even yourself even more. So do not avoid your emotions. Do not hide your emotions. Embrace your emotions. Walk through the emotions. Feel free to walk through the emotions. And you will find yourself even loving the process better, because you will discover how you handle your emotion, who triggers your emotion, what triggers your emotion. Exactly that way you'll be growing, and you'll discover a lot of progress as you continue. You'll discover a lot of progress as you continue your journey of self-discovery. And as I said, self-discovery is something that goes on and on. Even the old people are still rediscovering things they can do. That is self-discovery. If someone is 50 and they are still thinking of creating some company, thinking of doing some philanthropy, thinking of doing things in their life, they are still discovering themselves. So what about you, who is still maybe 20, 19? And it is not, I'm not saying it is easier for you, but you have to do it intentionally and ensure that you really have put your head into it, because there comes times that you will not want to continue, especially with emotions. They really drain you. And if you're someone who likes avoiding emotions, my friend, I tell you, you'll give up, because you wake up and the brain will tell you, I'm not waking up today. You'll wake up and find someone insulting you in the morning. You'll wake up and find things are not just going. In Swahili we say mambo haiendi, and you'll not want to wake up that day. You'll want to lock your door and sleep the whole day, but that is not a solution. That is not a solution, and you'll not love yourself in the next coming years. And the thing that maybe I should have said when I started this thing is, self-discovery is long-term. And I said that if you want to do this, know that you are doing it for your future, for your tomorrow, for your next year. Like, when you look at me right now, I'm not the Maria I was in 2018. Hey, the Maria I was in 2018, if I remember my masahibus, a relative of mine called me for a job. And I think this is one of the things that made me really want to question myself and ask myself, is this really me? So this man calls me for a job. He's my relative. He had a college and asked me if I could help him lecture and also be his finance assistant. Well, the things I used to do in that job, I've never been degraded that way. I've never been brought too low that way. I would be asked to come out of the job sometimes and go to his home, feed his child. And he's not a child, someone so a child that is bigger even than my children. Remember, I had 2 kids then, and my first son was 3 years, and my second son was 2 years. So remember, I was going to job and coming back home. So this man would be like, come feed my child or take care of the child till I come back. And he's gone maybe to Busia or to Nairobi, and he may not even come back. You have to sleep at that place, take care of the kid, because you cannot leave the kid alone, even if they are older. I think he was in class 3 or something. So the child doesn't want to eat, you have to eat to feed them. The child doesn't even know how to bathe, you have to bathe them. I felt so downgraded to a point that he even told me, I would even feel, he comes back at maybe, let's say, 11. There's a day he came back at 11 p.m. And I was asking myself, am I going to go back home or what? Because you can imagine from Mumias to home at Lunza, it was maybe the vehicles were not on the road. Now I'm asking myself, do I call a motor vehicle so that the boda guys, so that they take me home? Who will come from Lunza to bring you from Mumias? Then I was going through a lot, and I needed that job because I had looked for a job. Because immediately I finished school, I went home. I didn't stay in a place that I could find a job. And at our home, there are no factories, there are no companies, no one can employ you unless you want to teach, which the teaching also became no goes on, because they were saying you have to be TSC compliant. So I was thinking, if I leave this job, maybe. But there's just a day that I decided, and I think that is the day I started questioning myself and asking myself, is this really what you are meant for? Is this really what you are meant to do? And for me, I was thinking, accepting that job, that they are a relative, they understand, they have also studied, and I didn't think that a person who is educated can make such mistakes or can handle you in such a way. So when I left that job, I started thinking a lot about myself. I started thinking a lot. There are times I would even break down. I would cry. But it didn't even help, because I didn't even know where to start with the development thing. And I even didn't know if there was something that could help me get out of that, because I was tired. So when I started this thing, I discovered that I was changing. And I was allowing myself to make mistakes only to learn from them. I do not make a mistake and repeat it. I do not make a mistake and repeat it, because I don't want to go back there, and I'm not sure if I can do it, if even my mentality or my mind right now can allow me to go back in such a situation. So I have learned to evaluate. You learn to evaluate your life, you learn to ask yourself questions, and you learn to embrace your emotions in a way that will help you to grow, not in a way that you will keep on crying and complaining. Embracing emotions doesn't mean that you are going to keep on crying and keep on feeling low. No, it is like you are keeping on asking yourself, how can I get out of this? How can I avoid this emotion? Who causes this? Just like I said before, who causes this, what causes this, and how can I avoid it? And then I don't know if you believe in therapy, but therapy helped me a lot. And personally, by then I didn't have any amount that I could spend on therapy, but I found someone who has I could say, who has some professional. He's a professional in therapy, in counseling, in psychology. So they helped me a lot, and there are many free and affordable. If you don't have money to spend, you can go to, let's say, a trusted church leader, and mostly a pastor. Like for me, I could say I used one of my pastors, and they helped me a lot, because they have the know-how and they have dealt with things that I, in fact, mine is not even a problem to them because they have dealt with them a lot and they know how to handle it. Not that someone was trying to kill me. No, I was just going through some discovery phases in, and I would say I think I took too long to start my journey because by the time I was discovering myself, I was like late 20s, and I think I really wasted my time. If I really knew this earlier, if I really knew that I could discover myself earlier and find my purpose earlier, I could have dived in right away. But yeah, life happens, so that is one mistake that I learned, and I'm learning from it, and I don't want to repeat it. That's why I keep on digging. I keep on digging and discovering and unlearning and relearning. Yeah, so it is not something that is easy, but if you want to really find typical real help, talk to someone, talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor, talk to someone you trust. And for me, I believe you can find even to as low as 1,000 shillings, you can find a therapist. There are people, most therapists are people who are dedicated to humanity. They don't want to see you feeling low. They don't want to see you drown because they can help. And yeah, you can talk to them and you will find a solution, because having questions about your life and it is you who is living it is the most dreadiest thing that you can ever have in your life. It is the most dreadiest you can ever experience. So don't let it reach you there. Talk to someone, find help. They have professional and sound advice that they will give you, and you'll find yourself moving out of your thoughts and finding a way of using your thoughts to your benefit and not vice versa. Sometimes we let our thoughts corrupt or use us instead of us letting the thoughts work for us, because we were created as humans in a way that our thoughts, when we make it into a word, it comes physically. When we put a thought in the mind, it manifests, because what else should happen if not what is in you? And the Solomon said in Proverbs that as man thinketh, so he is. So whatever you think, whatever you put in your mind is what you become. This brings me to the complaint part of it and the comparison part of it. Here we are dealing with you, and we are dealing with you alone. We are dealing with you personally. So comparisons and complaints are something that will cause you not to grow. Comparisons will hinder your growth. Complaints will retard your growth. I mean it. Complaints make you to give other people responsibility over your life. Complaints make other people to have authority over you. Like, they are the ones who can handle your life. For example, when you keep on saying they are supposed to have done this, they were supposed to have brought this here, they were supposed to have brought this, that, there. What were you doing when they were supposed to bring that there? What is your role in that? So complaints show that you are not ready to handle your life. Complaints show that you are giving other people leverage over your life. Comparison, the same. Comparison will let you equate your life to someone else's situation, or equate your life to someone else who is not even in your situation right then, because whatever is affecting me is not what is affecting them. Whatever I have is not what they have. Whatever they don't have is not what I don't have. I tend to think that when you compare, you are not really in the mood to grow personally. You are in the mood to grow to their level, yet you have a level that you yourself can grow in, and that might be the uniquest thing that the Lord gave us. And the Lord gave us as a way to show the universe that, or the other people or people around us, that we are different in several ways, or we are different in a way that no one else can look like us, can think like us, no one else can talk like us, no one else, even if they imitate, they can never have our acumen. They can never be us. They can never think the way we think. They can never execute tasks the way we execute tasks. Even if it was a robot created in my likeness, it can never be Maria. Comparison and complaints will kill yourself, like you are not ready to discover yourself. Do not compare yourself. You are not that person. You are not them. Just live your life and be who you are. Another part that I think comparison will lead you is distraction, and I mean distraction in capital letters, because comparison kills a personality and brings in the imposter syndrome. And the imposter syndrome is what will keep you thinking you are someone else, or you are doing things like someone else, and yet you are not and can never. In real sense, I'm just telling you the truth. Get it or not, don't get it. Imposter syndrome kills your personality. It makes you look like a cartoon or a photocopy of someone else, which you are not. You are real, and you should be real to yourself. Being real to yourself is what will really make you stand out. And when you stand out, you will start finding that you love more and more of yourself. You love being more in your own setting. You don't like being compared, and that is good. If you don't like being compared, you have started your self-discovery journey, because you have to find you. You have to know who you are, where you're going, what makes you tick. Finding out what makes you tick. And that, after we have gotten out of comparing ourselves and not complaining and evading our responsibilities, we now start being more outgoing and being present whenever we are needed, being at the right time, in the right place, with the right people, and doing the right thing. Because here we have started to know what we can do. We have started to know what is good for us. We have started to know what can make our minds even more active. We have started to know what is making our lives not as good as we want it to be. So we are starting to go out there and look for it. One thing I will share with you, one thing that I really feared, and I think when I burst the bubble, I don't regret. I have had people talking in my back, but it doesn't really break me, because I knew what I wanted. When the Public Service Commission advertised for the internships, and I knew I needed an internship, because I had never worked in my field ever since I finished campus. And the only places I worked were like some contracts, and then they could be cut off like after 6 months. But I knew I needed something to have hands-on experience, something that was not a startup, something that was not just a passing fling. So when the Public Service Commission advertised for the internships for the graduates, I made sure I applied for it, knowing fully well that the closest place I could be from home is like, I don't know how many kilometers away. From Butere to Eldoret, I don't know how many kilometers they are. And it hasn't been easy, but I got that internship. And when they placed me to Nyahururu, I called the HR, and I told the HR of the public service, I told her, kindly, I'm Maria and I need your help. I need you to reshuffle me to Eldoret, some place near to my home where I can be, at least travel back home after some 2 weeks to see my kids. And she did just that. She helped me reshuffle, like she transferred me from Nyahururu to Eldoret. And it hasn't been easy. I had never lived away from my kids. But I had prepared myself. I was prepared. I knew I wanted to do this. And I can say the internship has really opened my mind. I have learned several things that I couldn't have learned anywhere else, because most places I was working were startups, and I wanted something tangible, something to have my experience on. So if you were to ask me about my profession in terms of work experience, at least I have 1 full year of work experience in my field that I fought to have. It didn't just come to me on a silvery platter, but I fought for it. And that is the power of self-discovery. I knew that, yes, I love my husband, and I love my husband. Babe, if you're watching this, I love you to the core. They have called me severally, and I don't want to mention names, but they have called me severally to tell me I will lose my husband. But I had to do this. I had to look for this internship, and thank God I have finished it. But I'm still thinking of continuing to be here doing my mtumba business. I started thrifting in February, and I think I made a good decision. I don't want just to go back home and sit and continue being a housewife, go back to the life I had. If I was to go home, at least I will go back home with a business, with something that I can continue doing. I can also revive my baking, yeah, because at least I have something that I wanted to do, and I am doing it, and I have done it, and I'm proud of myself. I have let go of beating myself up on things that I could not control. Whatever happened the first years of my marriage was very perfect. I don't beat myself up for it. I took care of my children, I took care of my husband, I took care of my home, and it is time to create and build my career with my family. I don't regret a thing. So I am creating more avenues to venture out and rediscover what I can do better, what I can work on to improve my economic status, what I can work on to improve my social status, what I can work on to improve my ministry, and especially in music, what I can do so that my music can also grow. So yeah, self-discovery has helped me to find several things that my life would not be the same if I discovered earlier these things. But I'm not beating myself up for that, because actually the curriculum doesn't teach that, and how would I have known? I didn't know, and I don't really beat myself up for it. Getting out of my comfort zone or busting my bubble did for me was to create more opportunities for me in terms of my music, and also it has helped to expand my thoughts. I have expounded on how I think. I have expounded on how I can relate to people. I have met many people, several people that I thought I wouldn't have met, and yeah, it has helped me grow in a way, a tremendous way. Another thing is, when I found out about myself, I started thinking, well, yes, I'm a trained food science and technologist. I have skills in that, but what really fulfills my soul, what really feeds my soul, what really makes me tick, what really interests me, where what topic, what could you bring a topic on that I would discuss about it until you get tired of me? And I think that is just something that triggered emotions and made me discover, wow, if I did not start this journey, I would not discover what feeds my soul. So when you do your self-discovery journey, you have to discover what feeds your soul, discover what makes you what can you do that you will not even want someone to pay for. You will do it comfortably without complaints. And for me, it has been singing and writing all through. I love talking to young people, and so that generally brings me to service to humanity. I love serving humanity. I love making another person smile. I love making another person be relieved from what they were going through. I love lending an ear. I love lending some piece of advice. I love talking to people, and doing this, even this video, I feel like I am serving a broader audience, and like I'm helping one or two people to find themselves. I'm helping one or two people to know that they can always find themselves and they can rediscover who they are if they feel lost. I know that I can help someone through this video to find their purpose. So yeah, if you're watching me for the first time, I just want to say thank you and come back again. Feel free to subscribe, share, like, comment, and click the notification button. I'll be very grateful to have you next time. For my continuing subscribers, I love you. I love you very much. I love you very much. Continue being my support, because without you guys, I would not do this content, because you have to do content knowing that people will watch. I do this content knowing that I will impact someone, and I'm so grateful for allowing me to do this with you. Have a great time. Till we meet again, guys.